on in, everyone. Come on in because we are here to talk about Ultimatum. We are on season 3, y'all. Season 3. And I've only watched the first 2 episodes. Episodes 1 and 2. That's what I've watched. But I will confess, I watched like the first 5 minutes of episode 3 because at the end of episode 2, they started talking about who chose who. And then they cut it off. And I was like, oh, that's silly. So I did go ahead and watch the first like 5 minutes or 10 minutes of episode 2 just to see who all the final trial marriages were going to be with, just so I could do this review for episodes 1 and 2. And then I'm going to go back and watch episode 3 and 4 and try to catch up before they release the new stuff in its entirety. But I just wanted to come here and talk to y'all and give you a little bit of my first impressions. But like you can tell from my thumbnail, I'm not too happy with the people on the show. First of all, JR is an F-boy, just like my thumbnail said. And I'm sure a lot of people may like this Scotty fella because, you know, he's all being mushy with Zena, but he is a love bomber. He's a love bomber. And there were so many signs of him love bombing Zena that we want to talk about. But overall, I also want to talk about the F-boy mentality and personality of JR. I really do actually like Zena a lot. We want to talk about same thing with Sandy, who JR eventually chose, or they chose each other. She's just as bad. First of all, Zena, we're going to start talking about with Zena and Junior first. Just to let you know, Zena, this isn't the first time that JR has cheated on you. I know you might think it is. Okay, and he hasn't cheated yet, but he's gonna cheat on her in this trial marriage. Because he already kissed the girl. I mean, he can't even get to the trial marriage before his hands were all over this woman and kissing her and having all this sexual conversation. He's curious. He's curious to know what it is to sleep with a white girl because he's never done it before. That's what he told Micah. And I do want to say, in terms of Micah and Chanelle, Micah's in love with that girl. Micah's in love with that girl. He is torn up over the fact that Chanelle is going to have a trial marriage. Chanelle don't want no other man but Micah. Chanelle ends up getting with, who is it? Dave, because they were safe for each other. Chanelle got with Dave. You know, there's always a couple every season that really doesn't do the experiment. They end up choosing another partner that's safe, one that they know that they'll never be attracted to. It's never going to come of anything for the trial marriage. They're just there as a safe space to sort of wait for their partners. And that's what Dave and Chanelle did. Chanelle is 27, and you have Dave, who is 34, and they both are kind of picking each other just to wait on their partners. Dave is waiting on Vanessa, and Chanelle is going to wait on Micah. That's it. But Micah is in love with Chanelle, and I'll say this. The other thing I want to say that I, clued in on all the couples this episode was how all the men are really not ready to get married financially. And they've tried to tell the ladies this in one way or the other. A lot of them have really said, including Caleb, we're not really ready to get married financially. They don't have their financial footing. And the only one that's really doing the proposing, that's saying like he's ready to get married, is Scotty. And isn't it ironic that we don't know what Scotty does for a living? We don't even know what Scotty does for a living, but we know enough that whatever he does is not stable. And that's why his girlfriend, Arya, doesn't want to marry him. Arya is all about her money. She's all about her money. But I'm all over the place. Let's start talking about them couple by couple. Because that's where I want to get into it. First of all, welcome to LA. Welcome to LA. They are filming this time in LA, which is my home city. So we know we're going to get some influencers and people who want to be on TV on this episode of The Ultimatum. And we find out that that's what we got. So we got Zena. She's a content creator. And we have JR. He's a personal trainer. If y'all ever listen to any of my videos, I always say, don't go out with no personal trainer. Don't go out with no personal trainer. I mean, I don't want to give personal trainers a bad name, but I don't really need to give them a bad name because JR is giving them a bad name right here. So they've been dating for 3 years, and he says, oh, I was the first person to give Zena An orgasm. Okay. Zena's 32 and JR is 33. They're about the same age. Come to find out that JR said the reason why he's scared to get married is because he had a failed marriage earlier. And he got a lot of scars from that. He got married when he was younger. He said there was some infidelity, but you know what he didn't say? He didn't say who was unfaithful. He acted like the unfaithful one was the wife, but I bet if we talked to the wife, there probably could be some mixed stories. Maybe the wife was unfaithful. Maybe she did sleep with another person, but JR is not innocent. JR tells this story that he was homeless, but his parents were also pastors, or his father was a pastor. So your father was a homeless pastor? Okay, JR. Okay, JR. Um, right off the bat, Sandy was really into JR. Everybody was into JR, all his muscles and everything like that. And I mean, I knew right away that JR was an F boy because all he did was talk about sex. Sex, sex, sex. He flirted. It's just like a personal trainer because, you know, their clients are mostly women. They just naturally know how to flirt because it's how they get their clients. It's part of their marketing 101. So you really have to be like be comfortable with that with personal trainers. And Zena's not comfortable. Zena's a beautiful, beautiful girl herself. Um, but she would just have to deal with this thing with JR. And you know what? He ain't no really successful personal trainer, so his money ain't right. His money, she probably make more money than him as a content creator. That's another reason why he don't want to get married. She probably makes more money than him as a content creator. And they live together right now, but they lease is up. I don't even know why they came on this show because honestly, they kind of both seem like they're over each other. Even Zena seems like she's over JR. JR was like on here talking about the reason why I wanted to come over here because I wanted to date differently. Really? So you already came in with the intention of meeting someone differently. He said he came on here to meet someone else. These two were at the end of their relationship. They already knew that once this lease was up, they was going to break up. They already realized it, that they were going to break up. And he says Zayn always jealous because women are always commenting on his page, his social media pages, you know, hearting his sexy body pics and all this other kind of stuff. But he said, you know, he grew up in a big family. He grew up homeless and living in hotels. And then he said his father was a pastor. I don't know. JR tells a whole lot of stories I don't believe. Just a whole lot of stories. If you really believe this is the first time that JR started fooling around with another woman or flirted to this degree with another woman, I don't know. You're naive too. He's not new to this. He's done this before. So, you know, like I said, he's just an F boy. He really is just an F boy. He's sitting over here talking about, oh, I love your calves and your calves are so nice. And, you know, I haven't seen your boobs yet. And he's putting his arm around Sandy. And what kind of kids do you think we have? You think we'll have some cute mixed kids? I don't know. It's just all very, very weird. I mean, he lives in LA. If he wanted to date white women, he could do it all day long. Everybody does it in LA. So what's been the holdup? I don't even believe that, to be honest with you. He says he's never dated a white girl, never slept with a white girl. I don't even believe that. He's in LA. Plenty of white girls go out with black guys. Plenty of black guys go out with white girls. I don't know if I believe that. I really don't believe too much JR says because JR keeps wanting to come off as the PK kid where his wife cheated on him when he got married early. And the reason he married his wife is because his parents taught him don't have sex before marriage. That's why he got married so young. That's his story, but I don't believe anything. Let me tell you something. The way that JR was moving and shaking in this show around Sandy, he's not new to none of this. None of this is new. He wasn't no fish out of water. He was swimming where he's comfortable. Where he's comfortable. He said he used to date mixed girls. That's what he's used to. So in a lot of ways, when he had the choice between Sandy and Arya, he said, oh, well, you know, Arya, she's kind of like typically what I date, black and Hispanic. But, you know, she's the safe option. I want to be a little risque. I want to live on the wild side. And, you know, Sandy, she's fiery. She's fired. So the two of them decide, yeah, let's date each other because we want to see fire plus fire. Fire plus fire. That's what they want to see. And Zena, she too committed to being wife. She's like, I want to be wife material. I want to get wifed up. You know, when she asked him, what are your expectations of a wife? He's like, I really don't have none because he don't really want to be no husband. He's not ready to be a husband. He's not ready to be no husband. I don't think he's financially ready. He's not ready in a mature way. None of it. None of it. She says she wants a leader. That's what Zena says. She says, I want a leader. This is what she's telling Scotty, I want to be a leader, even though she's independent. And Scotty's like, yeah, I'm not used to that because I'm not used to taking the lead. And that has been a challenge with him and his ex, Zaria, or Araya. I'm sorry. Araya. Did you believe him? I didn't believe him. Because you know why I didn't believe him? Because the minute that Scotty, first of all, my radar was already up with Scotty because I was like, he's love bombing Zena. He was into her too fast, too soon. It was almost as if he wanted to make Arya really jealous, and what he wanted to make sure was that there was going to be a girl who said yes to him for the trial date. He didn't want to be the guy where no girl wanted him. So he went in hard and he went in fast on Zana, Zania, Zena. He went in hard and fast on her, told her everything she wanted to hear. He was love bombing her. And then when I really realized he was love bombing her was when he was walking hand in hand with Zena in front of Arya to get Arya pissed off and jealous. And Arya did get jealous. She cried. She left the room. And then when they sat down to talk, he started yelling and screaming at Arya. And I said, oh my God, look at that right there. He was gaslighting her. He was yelling and screaming at her. And I said, wow, look at that controlling behavior. So you set this whole scenario up, Scotty. That's what you did. You create this whole scenario because you did it right in front of Arya because you want her to get to this point. And then what you did when she came over and started talking to you about it, you started yelling and screaming at her. And she was like, why are you yelling and screaming? Which tells me he's done it before. One thing you could tell is what's new behavior and what's old behavior. Like I said before, JR's behavior was old. He's done it before. And Scotty yelling and screaming at Arya has been done before too. This is par for the course. And that's when I said, oh, wow, he's really love bombing Zena. Like he's this sweet guy leading by his heart. He's all in love and everything. And you realize that's not who he really is. Because another part I realized it wasn't him is because when it came to decision time on who to choose for your partner, Arya said something very interesting. She said she doesn't always hear nice things. Really? You don't hear nice things from the love bombing Scotty? No, what she hears is negative criticism. That's what she said. She's used to criticism. And it was something different from her to hear all of the positive affirmations that she was getting from JR. But JR is used to giving positive affirmations because he's a flirt. So in one way, Arya, you were getting all these positive affirmations from JR. And you told us that it's not something you're used to. And I said, well, why not? Scotty is the sweetest thing since sliced bread, right? He's sweeter than a lollipop. No, he's not. He's mean, just like he was yelling at her. And another reason why I'm thinking, okay, Arya, we know Arya is all about her money. She's a nurse. That's what we found out. She's like a cosmetic nurse. So she's one of those nurses that assist plastic surgeons. So she's making RN money, which means she's up in the six figures. And Scotty, more than likely, Scotty has money that ain't consistent. And that's another reason why Arya doesn't want to marry him, because Arya has told us over and over again that she needs to have stability and she don't want to be poor. And I think what Scotty is given is broke or inconsistent money. That's what he's given. And Arya said, I'm not signing up for that. I'm not signing up for that. That's why Arya don't even really want to live with Scotty. That's why she was comfortable with this long distance relationship, because she probably knows that, Scotty is volatile. He's a love bomber. The thing that comes after a love bomber, they're controlling, and then they use the love bombing to get a hold of you. And then once they get a hold of you, they're controlling. And then if they don't get what they want, they're sort of mean. A lot of love bombers can also be narcissists. And she says she's not really ready for a relationship, because what she feels is that if she gets into a relationship with Scotty too soon, she's going to have to do a lot of sacrificing of her career. And what she doesn't want to happen is she doesn't want to happen what happened to her parents, where she believes that her mother became resentful of her father. So I don't even know why Arya liked JR. Like, why would you like JR when JR is the one was getting the ultimatum from Zena? So, I mean, I think Arya just went with him because, I guess he's the other black guy. He's safe. I don't know why she even chose him at all. And Scotty running around there wearing them little eyelids. They're in the bathroom talking. He's wearing that little cosmetic thing that the women's wear to keep your eyes from getting puffy or your bags. I don't know. He is from LA. I guess that's a metrosexual thing to do in LA. But what do we think Scotty does? Because he hasn't told us. He's probably trying to be some type of model or something. He's something. I'm telling you, he's probably trying to be some type of model in TV or something like that. Inconsistent money. I already know his money's inconsistent. I could smell it on him. I could smell it on him. And I found out that Arya, she lives in San Francisco and Scotty lives down here in LA. That's why they really don't live near each other. And what they were also talking about is they really don't have deep conversations. They don't have deep conversations. They don't really have quality time or any words of affirmation. Once you heard all this going on, that's when you knew like this is a mean, volatile relationship. You know, Scotty wants to go around and talk about, oh, I know what it looks like to have a healthy two-parent household. I grew up in that. And he's like, yeah, Zena is really wifey material. He was really puffing her up because that's the kind of stuff that she wanted to hear. And I think Zena is a really nice girl. I didn't really see no red flags with Zena right away. But, you know, he's like, oh, I love your fashion. I don't know, Scotty. Scotty and all this makeup and fashion and love bombing. I don't trust him. I don't trust him one bit. He was running around talking about, yeah, he don't like Arya because she's just she takes the lead too much. And he said, we're not really together. We don't do a lot of together things. He said, even coming here, they booked their flight differently. Like Arya went ahead and booked her flight sooner than he did, probably because he drags his feet. I'm telling you what he gives me. He don't take care of business. He's not organized. He's a love bomber. That's why you got to love bomb women, because once women really know what's going on with him, they probably don't want him. I can't wait to learn more about him because I know there's going to be some other red flags that come out. It's going to be some other red flags. But yeah, once Arya saw him holding hands with Zena and he did it on purpose and she confronted him, he was like, what are you talking about? Like, boy, it was on camera. Why are you trying to act like you didn't do it? Yeah. So now he lied to her face. So you know this ain't the first time. None of this behavior is new. None of it. Well, he didn't give her no apology, no nothing. He didn't say I'm sorry. He just gaslit her. He lit a match and gassed her up all the way. And I already said, you know what? I don't want to be dependent. She said she's real independent. She don't want to be dependent on no man's paycheck because what she knows is she can't be dependent on Scotty's paycheck. That's what it is, because his money's inconsistent. So she's realizing, I'm not going to give up my career, Scotty, to come to LA with you and your money's inconsistent. That's what Arya is saying. Like, why would I give up my career where I'm making good money to come to be in LA with you and your money's inconsistent? You don't offer a safe space for her. She says she wants to be stable before she has marriage and kids. That means they ain't stable. She's giving us every hint of what's going on. Every hint. She says JR makes her feel protected and secured, which means she don't feel protected and secure with Scotty. Because he be going off. I know he be going off yelling and screaming and acting a fool, and she don't feel protected. She feels almost victimized because I'm telling you, Scotty's volatile. If you just listen to Arya, she tells you everything that's wrong with the relationship, but she ain't really saying it out loud. He like a wolf in sheep's clothing. You could tell. So is JR. The bad thing about it is Arya is going from a verbal abuser probably to an emotional abuser, which is JR. So girl, you're not going to a safe space over there trying to want JR, but in the end, you ought to be happy JR didn't choose you, Arya, because it would have been a mess, a hot mess. Count your blessings that JR didn't choose you and he chose Sandy instead. And let the two fire meets fire go over there and blow each other up. Because that's all he came. He came here to explore his options. That's what JR came. Let me go on over here and explore my options. You think he's ready to marry? No, he ain't ready to marry. He's ready to screw. That's what he's ready to do. Over here talking about, oh, your lips are so pretty. What, them fake collagen lips that Sandy had? Those fake collagen lips that Sandy had. What's Sandy's man name? Sandy's out here going out with Nick, 38. Poor Nick. Poor Nick. Same thing. He ain't got no money. Our artist. Our artist talking about he want to move out of LA with the lake and raise some kids. That ain't what Sandy's trying to do. Sandy is trying to get some money, be rich. What does Sandy do? He said all she like to do is go to Coachella all the time. He's 38. He's ready to give up the urban life. He ready to move to the suburbs. Sandy ain't moving out there, the suburbs not with them college and lips. She might go to Orange County, but she ain't going out to the suburbs. Where are you talking about moving to? Good Lord. I don't even know why these two are together. I really don't know why Sandy is even with Nick. I bet it's because Nick might have some connections in LA, and Nick might know a few people in the artist world, and maybe he get a whole bunch of free tickets to events and stuff, and that's what Sandy likes. That's probably what it is. Nick is an artist. He lives in the artist world, so he probably knows a lot of artists, and they get cool tickets to things like Coachella and different places like that. And that's why Sandy is with him, for his friends, and maybe, going to events and stuff like that. Because I'm telling you, that's a lot of women out here, that's what they date for. If they're not dating you for money, they're dating for the crowds that you hang around so they can make friends in those same type of crowds. Users. Sandy is a user. She is absolutely a user. This 10 years age difference, I don't even know why they're together. They was going at it. Nick is so hurt that Sandy already built a connection with JR. A sexual connection, Nick. It ain't no other kind of connection but sexual connection. And he's like, it took him forever to get Sandy to open up. And all of a sudden, she's opening up this fast with JR. His feelings are hurt. Because she's over here trying something new too. She said, I never had no chocolate meat either. So let's both go on over here and try something we ain't never tried before. They said they want to see how the fire and the fire meets each other. It ain't going to last. It ain't going to last. It's all just a big old, what do they call it, an experiment. That's exactly what you can call it. And hopefully, I'm just predicting that it ain't going to work out between Sandy and JR. And hopefully in the end, Nick and Sandy break up because she thinks he's quirky. She don't even like his personality. She's turned off by it. She's annoyed by it. Why are you guys still here? Why are you two still a couple when she don't want to go where you want to go? She don't want to do what you want to do. She thinks you're quirky. She's turned off by you. She thinks you're annoying. Woo, all these people are I think they all just want to be on TV for acting. This was probably the worst place they could have chosen to have this show, Ultimatum, because I don't know. It feels like a lot of people just want to be on TV. It really does feel like a lot of these people just want to be on TV. The only one I'm kind of getting real vibes from is Zena. Even though she's a content creator, I feel her genuineness that she really does want to get married. The problem is that she's about to go out with a love bomber who I bet is going to be controlling and narcissistic. Unfortunately, I feel like that's going to go on. And like I said, Caleb and Micah, ain't nothing gonna go on over there with Chanelle and Dave. They're just a safe choice. Ain't no way Chanelle 27 wants to be with this Dave guy 34. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. It's just a safe place to stay to lay your head for the next 3 weeks so that, she can go on back to Micah. Micah ain't gonna be going out with that other girl either. Mariah, same thing. When they were choosing each other, Micah looked like he wanted to darn near vomit. His stomach was in such tight knots. He was the one earlier that said, we can leave if you want to. It's not too late for us to leave. He don't want to be here. He never wanted to be here from the very beginning. From the very beginning. Chanelle just brought him here to scare him straight. She's like, I'm going to scare you straight so that in the end, you will choose me. But in the end, what Mike is trying to tell Chanelle is we're not ready to get married. We ain't got our money right. We do not have our money right. I don't know what Micah does, but his money ain't right either. And what he's saying was, Chanelle, you just started working. You was just driving Uber Eats. You barely got in this marketing career. You already want to get married. Next thing you know, you'll want to have kids. And she's like, no, I won't. I'll be able to take it slow. Micah's right. Chanelle on the fast track. She want to get married. She want to have kids, all of that. And he said, we just need a little bit more time. He's under 30 years old. Most men need at least a 30 to kind of get themselves together. I think by the time Micah's 30 years old, another couple of years, he'll be ready for you, Chanelle. Because I could tell that he really loves her. He really loves her. But in the end, Caleb chose, the other girl, what was her name? Mariah chose Caleb. And Mariah's a podcaster, 24. Mariah is with Caleb, but she ended up choosing Micah and Chanelle. And Caleb is a mortgage broker, 29, same thing. His money ain't right either. His money is up and down. He's a mortgage broker. Them loans be up and down depending on the interest rates. His money is up and down too. And he's saying the same thing to Mariah. My money ain't ready. I'm not ready for you. You're 24 years old. Good thing, because Mariah's not ready for marriage. I know she thinks she's ready for marriage, but Mariah needs to figure out who she is, because right now what Mariah's trying to do, she's trying to have a man complete her. When I heard her talking to, what's his name? Micah. And when she was talking about her time between her, when she was talking to Micah and with Caleb, she kind of has the same source of speech where she really is trying to find out who she is. I feel like she's trying to use marriage to do for herself what she needs to do for her, what she needs to do for herself. That's the thing I got from Mariah. She doesn't really know who she is. She kept talking about how she grew up and how she couldn't be free and she couldn't do a lot of things because her mom was like kind of like a helicopter parent, I guess. And she was really controlled by her mom a lot. And so she liked the story of Micah, how he kind of grew up free and could kind of do whatever he wanted to do. But I think what Caleb was saying about Mariah, that he doesn't want to get married to her now, because then when she turns 40, what if she figures out who she is at 40 and, the marriage doesn't work? Well, I mean, everyone's going to change. But first of all, Caleb isn't ready for money because his money's not right. He's not ready for marriage. But he is correct about Mariah. Mariah doesn't know who she is. She's trying to fill in the parts of herself that she feels are empty with Caleb. And she'll end up being Tia Mowry. Anybody you watch that with me, Tia Mowry? That's who Mariah is striking me as, who doesn't know who she is, doesn't know what she wants, doesn't know how to make herself happy, and she's looking to this man to do it. And in the end, when she gets unhappy at some point in the marriage, which everyone goes through these periods, she's not going to know how to get herself out of it, because I think she looks to other people to do it. So Caleb wouldn't do it for her because he won't marry her right now. And so in the end, she's going to look for Micah to do it. But Micah's really not going to try to do it because he's just over here to, waste time. Ain't no way Micah's leaving Chanelle. I know that right now. Ain't no way. You can forget about it, Mariah. You can forget about it. At first, it was, who was it who liked Mariah at first? Was it Nick who said he liked Mariah first, or was it Dave? Oh, yeah. Poor Dave. Dave with Vanessa. Dave is 34. He's a copywriter. Vanessa's 30 years old. And Dave, out the gate, thought he was going to have his pick of a lot of women. I don't know why. I think maybe of all the people, maybe Dave has a little bit of cash. They said Dave used to be a Wall Street person. Now he's a copywriter. Because Dave came in real confident. It was so interesting when Dave came in. He said, he's not in a rush to get married, and he said that, he told Vanessa, I don't even know why you brought me here, because there's a high likelihood that I'll connect with someone else. So he was just so sure, and he was talking about how beautiful he thought Mariah was. And when he finally got to talk to Mariah at the pool, Mariah didn't really have too much to say to him. Mariah was not interested in Dave at all. Then Dave thought he had a connection with Arya. Come to find out, Arya put him at the bottom because Arya was over there looking at JR. So I think what happened to Dave was he quickly realized that he may not meet a person here. And then when he figured that out, all of a sudden he's crying over the fact that Vanessa connected with Nick. All of a sudden, the tables turn because Vanessa was the one that gave Dave the ultimatum. But next thing you know, he was the one crying over the fact that Vanessa was going over here with Nick. So Dave got the tables turned on him. He probably going to propose to Vanessa because he came out here thinking he was going to be hot. He was thinking he was going to get with Mariah. Then he thought he was going to get with Arya, and both of them rejected him. So next thing you know, he don't really have no one. And he ended up choosing Chanelle just for a safe thing. So this experiment ain't going to turn out well for Dave. Now what he is he's scared that Vanessa's made this strong connection with Nick. He's probably going to end up proposing to Vanessa. It's interesting, like we said, well, what didn't work out? I think Dave doesn't want to wear Vanessa. Vanessa's an influencer. Like I said, I think Dave got a little bit of money. He might think that Vanessa's a gold digger. She's an influencer. Hopefully she's a good one. Hopefully she's making money. But something tells me Dave got a little bit of cash, and he's skeptical of Vanessa because he thinks Vanessa kind of maybe wants him for his money. That's kind of what I'm thinking off the top. Because he came in with a lot of confidence, and he's not the most good-looking man. He's also one of the oldest men here. So what made him come in with so much confidence? If he's older than the most women and he's not as good-looking as most of the men, and it's got to be his money. That's got to be what it is, and that's probably why he's not so interested. He's not interested in getting married so fast because he is older. He isn't one that talked about that he's not stable enough. That's not the reason why he just says he just doesn't want to rush into marriage. He never said, oh, because my money ain't right. Everybody else is talking about their money. Dave isn't talking about that. But Vanessa said Dave's heads are always in the cloud. He never asked, how was your day? Probably because he thinks she don't do nothing. I think Dave probably thinks maybe she's an underachiever. That's what he thinks. I bet he thinks she's an underachiever because when she said he never asked how my day was, probably because he doesn't really think you do anything of significance. He ain't interested in hearing what your day is like. She's an influencer, so I don't know. I think he just he's not interested in what she does, but he loves her because let me tell you, he was shook when she was over there with Nick. He was shook. He said that he likes acts of service as a love language, and that's not Vanessa. Vanessa don't do nothing. So yes, that's what I'm thinking. I think he thinks Vanessa's lazy and an underachiever. She wants a whole lot, but I think that's what it is. I think Dave might have a little bit of the money, y'all. That's what I'm gonna do. I mean, these are just my first impressions. Like I said, I've only seen episodes 1 and 2 and 10 minutes of episode 3. So I really don't know. These are my first impressions. I'll have to see how the episode goes along. But overall, y'all, to be honest with you, like I said, JR is an F-boy. Zena, I really like. Nick, he might as well give up because ain't no way Sandy gonna be with him. Sandy is, what's the opposite of F-girl or F-boy? That's Sandy. Mariah, she don't need to get married. She ain't ready mentally. Caleb, his money ain't right. He ain't ready to get married. Dave got money, but he don't really respect Vanessa's job. Like I said, he used to be on Wall Street. He probably smart, and Vanessa's an influencer. He don't take her seriously. And Scotty, like I said, is a love bomber. And Arya, girl, you better be glad you didn't choose. Arya, she all about her money. She don't want to marry Scotty because he ain't got no consistent money. And Arya said, I'm on a career track to make a lot of money. I don't want to be with no broke husband. And Chanelle and Michael, I don't know. They just over here bidding their time with these other couples. In the end, I think they're going to be back together because they don't even really want to be here. Not at all. But anyway, that's it. That's all I got, y'all, for my first impressions. And I will catch up with y'all after I watch episodes 3, 4, and maybe I'll try to get through 3, 4, and 5. We shall see. Alrighty, talk to y'all later. Bye.